So hopefully that works. Let's see here. Oh, awesome. So you can hear me. I'm going to run real quick. I got to grab my phone charger because I'm going to have to view the chat from my phone. This computer is going way too slow. I'll be right back. Alright dudes, thanks for joining. Jaysbeerreviews. So I have a YouTube channel that I've been reviewing beer with, and it's honestly a little bit boring for me because no one interacts. So this is a lot more fun. Basically just home brewing, and I just show you guys what I do. So I've done recently like a barley wine. I did a Parti-Gyle. That was a barley wine with like a Belgian Pale Ale as the second runnings beer. I recently did just another like kind of like more ambery kind of Belgian, which was it's really tasty. I got it on tap right now, and I've been really wanting to do like a sour beer, and I feel like, you know, summer's kind of coming to an end now. If I don't do it now, I'm not going to be able to do it for a little while. So I am going to do a sour mash. So I got my mash tun right here. I'm going to load it up with some grain and let it mash, and then I'm going to kind of cool it down and throw some more grain into it to let it sour overnight. And I will finish brewing the beer either tomorrow or possibly the day after. So it just depends on how it goes, and I will taste it periodically. So I haven't done anything yet. I just kind of impromptu wanted to make this batch. So I'm going to get my heat stick going, and I measured out some water already, so I'm good there. So let me just get the heat stick set up, and I'll start heating water. I have some music on too. I need it. So, as per my recipe calculation sheet, it should be 2.8 gallons of water that I got in my bucket here. Add that into my mash tun. So I do have a heat stick in here, which is, you can see, take it out It is a hot water heating element that I've, you know, for lack of a better word, glued onto like a tube of PVC. So all I do is I plug it in, and I kind of sort of just walk away, which is convenient because, you know, I don't gotta worry about it. It's not fire, so I'm not super worried. It is electrical, so you gotta be careful. But yeah, I'm not super worried about it. So So it's convenient that the bowl is clear. However, when you fill it, it is no longer clear. So, see, I can't see my sheets. Let's see. Alright, so I have 1 pound of oats right here. I have 8 pounds of Pilsner. Pilsner is a, you know, same thing.
These are the three sons of Noah, and of
So, let's see. Noise suppression. Yeah.
Separate what's good from what's bad so that you can retain what's good and move towards it. And to be careless of that is deadly because we're inhabited by the spirit of the Father. But insofar as you are capable of construction, to be disrespectful to that means to undermine the very structure that makes you all of what you are.
You think so? Okay. Alright. So. Is my microphone right there? Don't you kick that? We making wine? Putting your feet in there?
I want to touch it.
You can touch it. Alright, so what I did is measured out in this bowl. I have 1 pound of oats, basically it's oatmeal. And then I have 8 pounds of Pilsner malt. There's a delay, right? Yeah, I see it. So,
don't capitalize on it. Maybe that makes them strong.
Alright, so, yeah. I have 8 pounds Pilsner. Oh, thanks, bro. 1 pound of oats. And then, watch out, careful. Don't eat it. And then, what I also did is I measured out 2 little, like, cocktail cups. Yeah. And the cocktail cups are, I mean, it's just like, however much. I don't know. It's probably like a ½ pound altogether. Watch out. And so, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna mash like normal. I'm trying to hit like 150, 148-ish. And for my mash temp, I'm gonna mash it for like an hour. I'm gonna leave my mash tun open. I'm going to let it cool down to like 110, 100, and once it's cool, I'm gonna throw these cups of grain in. And we're not gonna do it yet. Right, we want to look at the temperature? Yes.
That's what we gotta do.
That's what we're gonna do. Okay, ready? So, we're at 150 right now. So, we gotta wait, on my system, I mean, I've probably gotta be at least like 160, 165 before I dough in. So we got a few minutes.
I can do it.
You see yourself?
Oh, okay, I can.
See, that one right there, you see it? See it? Watch.
Oh. And doing that one?
Yeah, we're in both of them, you see? They're both doing it. Is it what? We gotta go in. Those are water, but they're not good water. Okay. Only this. We're gonna go in.
It's highly likely that it could be so much worse. Because for most of human history, so much worse is going on. So that's worked out pretty well for me. But she came to live with me about the same time, and we decided jointly to get her out together. We swore that we tell each other the truth, which I think she's actually done better than me. Like, I don't think she's lied to me ever in our entire marriage, which is unbelievable. It's been so useful because I can really tell her things and we can really talk. So I tell you, if you want to have a good relationship, man, you embed it in the truth, because if you don't embed it in the truth, you don't have a relationship. It's just lies. It's a tissue of lies, and it will dissolve in the chaos as soon as the crisis comes in. So the truth is a terrible thing, but not compared to falsehood. Something as simple as like eye contact in a situation where there's a possibility of finding a sexual partner is a very important component of that, because eye contact indicates interest, and it also indicates, at least in principle, the possibility of approach. And so approach is dopaminergically mediated, and it's a positive emotional state. That's also why, interesting enough, you go into a pharmacy and there's a rack of magazines. What's on the cover? Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. On 50% of the men's magazines, there's a beautiful woman, and about like 100% of the women's magazines, which is really interesting, because you might think, well, why is that? And the woman's eyes are always looking out in a way that they're looking at you. It's an invocation of interest. And so, magazines evolve. All the ones that don't go out fail. And so what's happened is they all converge to the same point. And the same point is the thing that's maximally interesting to a magazine purchaser is a beautiful female face, whether it's male or female. And we also know that, for example, with men, if you show them, so you show them the face of a beautiful woman, and her eyes are looking that way, or this way, or they're looking right at you. You can check the activity in the dopaminergic center in a place called the nucleus accumbens, which is the same place that cocaine hits. Based on eye contact, that thing lights up. It lights up even more if she's wearing a red dress. Right, and you can get the same kind of lighting up with a red curvy sports car. So it's my thought when I read that was the perfect situation. It's like a beautiful girl dressed in red, perched on a sports car with some cocaine. Why red? That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure why. That's wrong. I do know why red. Ripe fruit. Women have co-evolved with ripe fruit. It's very sneaky of you, by the way. So that's why you know that you just have to read through women's magazine. Lipstick is always associated with like apples that are glistening in some way, or peach or something like that. And we were primarily fruit eaters. And the reason we have color vision is to detect fruit. Also, part of the reason that fruit turns red or color when it ripens is because the fruit that was successfully eaten by creatures that distributed the seeds was the fruit that was ripe when it was eaten. And so as the color vision evolved, maybe there was a red pit for God knows what reason, then a positive feedback was developed, and fruit got redder and redder. And at the same time, women capitalized on that. That's partly, I think, what explains the association between Eve and Adam in Genesis, because Genesis is also a story about gaining sight. So, yeah, so that's why red. That's pretty overweight kid, you know, we'd be just pounding ourselves 3/4 to death at the end of the bloody workout. And these 60-year-old women who are in great shape were like, you know, chatting away as if nothing was going on at all in the pool. So that was quite embarrassing. As was going to weight women, you know, because when I started, I could barely bench press 75 pounds, and people used to keep coming over and helping me, which was last thing I really wanted, but certainly needed. I got to the point where I could bench press 224 pounds. I think that was the best I did. I gained about 30 pounds of muscle in a year and a half. So that was good thing. So like I was kind of a wild man, and you know, I'm a little bit manic in my temperament, so I was kind of going in every direction at the same time. You know, I don't regret that. I had a fun time when I was a kid. I needed to get disciplined. I needed to get disciplined. I needed to get disciplined. I had to do it because I was working on these hard problems that I've been discussing with all of you. I've been working on really obsessively since I was probably about 18, maybe earlier than that. I got to the point around 25 when I was in graduate school trying to get my PhD. I published 15 papers by the time I graduated, which was by, I think, by a fairly large number of the most papers that any undergraduate student at that time ever published at Yale. And at the same time, I wrote Maps of Meaning, which was a terribly difficult thing to do because I was writing about 3 hours a day doing that. I couldn't do all that and continue with my misbehavior. Sort of my massive hedonistic consumption of alcohol and all of that. I just couldn't keep it up, and also work seriously on the issues that were at hand. So I had to stop. That's a sacrifice. I had to stop messing about and straight myself. Every social animal, and even many animals who aren't social, are embedded in a dominance hierarchy. The dominance hierarchy has a structure. We couldn't call it the dominance hierarchy. Dominance hierarchy A, B, C, thousands of them across thousands of years. What's central to all of them? That's the pyramid of value. What question do you need answered about the pyramid of value? What's at the top? Because that's the ideal. That's the eye at the top of the pyramid, or the golden Buddha in their lotus. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as the crucifix. And that has to do with something like the voluntary acceptance and therefore transcendence of suffering. These are not arbitrary ideas. They're deeply, deeply, deeply rooted in biology and culture. They're as deeply rooted in biology as the dominance hierarchy is rooted in biology. We already know the answer to that. The dominance hierarchy has been around for 350 million years. It's a long time. You don't get to just brush that off and say, well, morality is some sort of second-order cognitive problem. It's like, no, it's not. You have a counter at the bottom of your brain that keeps track of where you are in terms of your status, and it bloody well regulates the sensitivity of your emotions. So if you're at the bottom of the hierarchy, barely clinging on to the world, everything overwhelms you, and that's because you're damn near dead. And so everything should overwhelm you. You've got no extra resources. You're sunk. And if you're near the top, then your serotonin levels go up. You're less sensitive to negative emotion. You're less impulsive. You live longer. Everything works in your favor. Your immune system functions better, and you're oriented at least to some degree towards the medium and long-term future. And you can afford that because all hell isn't breaking loose around you all the time. And so then the question is there a way of being that increases the probability that you're going to move up dominance hierarchy? Well, that doesn't seem to be a particularly provocative proposition. Okay, so back to Jung. See, Jung believed that once we had stopped populating the cosmos with gods, that they live inside. Think about it this way. An archaic person looks at the sky, uses his imagination to populate the sky. What's the sky? Well, it's the constellations. It's the domain of the gods. Well, why? Because the gods are what are out there beyond your understanding. Well, that's what you see when you look up at the sky. So you populate the night sky with figures of your imagination. So the gods are the things that you brought broadcast out of your imagination and see spread over the world. It's like the contents of your unconscious are manifesting themselves when you encounter the unknown. It's exactly what it is. How else could it be? You're projecting your fantasy onto what you don't understand. That's how you start to cope with what you don't understand. You populate the unknown with days. Where did they come from? They came from your imagination. But what happens when you take them out of the world? Do they disappear? No. They just go back into your imagination. That's the same motif as rescuing your dead father from the belly of the whale. Belly of the whale. Belly of the whale. Rescuing your dead father from the belly of the whale. Belly of the whale. Belly of the whale. It's the same idea. Is that the corpses of the gods inhabit your imagination. So where do you go if you need to revivify them? You go into your imagination. I was at the Museum of Art in New York. I was in this amazing room. You know, it had all these priceless paintings from the late Renaissance hanging in it. Each painting worth, who knows, $1 billion maybe. They're priceless paintings. So the room was, it's a shrine, and it was full of people from all over the world who were looking at these paintings. You think, well, what the hell are these people doing coming to this room looking at these paintings? Like, what are they up to? What are they doing? They don't know what that means. Like, why are they looking at that painting? Why is it in this room? Why does it cost $1 billion? Why is that painting worth so much? And the answer to that is, well, we don't really know. They're sacred objects in some sense, and we gaze at them in ignorance and wonder. And the reason for that is that the unknown shines through the mass in partially articulated form. Well, that's the role of art. And that's the role of artists. You know? Real artists are contending with the unknown, right? And they're possessed by it. They have a personality.
So of course, I was talking to my kids in bed, and I overshot. So I'm gonna go get a cup of cold water.
Buy a damn piece of art, you know? Find one that really speaks to you, and look out if you do it. If it's a real piece of art, because you'll also get a little introduction to the artist, and then that'll seep into your life, and that'll change things like mad. But it's unbelievably worth it, because it opens your eyes to the domain of the transcendent. That's the right way of thinking about it. A real piece of art is a window into the transcendent. That's what it is. You can see that integral to our culture is the idea that beauty is one pathway towards God. And if you can't find another pathway, then why don't you use beauty? I'm sure most of you do that with music, because music is the one thing that modern people can't be cynical about. Thank God for that. And so we need to understand the role of art and literature and stop thinking about it as an option. It's not an option. It's not an option. What does it say? Man does not live by bread alone. That's exactly right. We live by beauty. We live by literature. We live by art. And literally, not metaphorically. We cannot live without it, because life is too dismal and tragic in the absence of the sublime.
Akira.
Beauty. There's no call to higher being. This is also why I mention people but I'm really serious about it, because it's really hard to do that. It isn't just clean it up. You also make it beautiful.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, I was tucking the kids in, and I overshot my match temperature. But the thing is, like, I use RO water. I have an RO filter, and it's got about like a 4-gallon capacity at any time. At any one time, it holds like 4 gallons of RO water. So if I'm brewing like a 10-gallon batch, it kind of sucks because you have to like plan it out. I gotta pour out the 4 gallons and then like give it time to load up again because it's just my drinking water, you know? But the convenient thing is that this water might be over temperature, but it's got a whole pitcher of water that is nice and cool. And it's RO water, so it's good to go. See how that does. Alright, if I was making a normal beer, this would be fine, but I want to be a little cooler. There you go. Alright. So I'm at 165. And let's see how that goes. Shuffle some things around. So you guys can see me pour it in, you know, that's all the action that we're gonna get. There you go. Some of the oats in there. Let's see here. Alright, so I only have one viewer on right now, at least that's what it says. PJM Les, is that right? It's a little too hot.
fairies, and then the first idiot prince that wanders by, she falls in love with so badly that she has post-traumatic stress disorder when he rides off on his horse. That's what happens. And she goes into the castle and she's all freaked out because she met the love of her life for like 5 minutes. That's when the spinning wheel. That's the wheel of fate.
You see, it's not stabilizing. Stir it up. Stir it up.
Well, she wants to be unconscious. No bloody wonder. She was protected her whole life. She's so damn naive that the first brother just about kills her. She wants to go to sleep and never wake up. Never wake up. Never wake up. She wants to go to sleep and never wake up. So that's exactly what happens. And then she has to wait for the prince to come and rescue her. Well, you think how sexist can you get? That's a boneheaded way of looking at the story, because the prince isn't just a man who's coming to rescue a woman. The prince also represents a woman's own consciousness. That forward-going, courageous consciousness. Woman herself is drifting unconsciousness and terror. All she can do is lay there and sleep. Sleep of the naive and damned. She has to wake herself up, bring her own consciousness, her own masculine consciousness into the forefront so that she can survive in the world. That's partly what's interesting. This idea is that the woman is taken out of man, so to speak, and she isn't a human being. She's just a creature, and that's partly what's embedded in the story. So one reading is taken out of people are very creative, but they can't think critically. But I can think critically. So this is a creative, theoretical enterprise, enjoying the good past, tell the difference between bad ideas and good ideas. And hopefully,
Still a little warm, dude.
talking about are the greatest ideas that humanity has ever produced. There are also ideas that we don't understand well. Highest level of formal development, we risk forgetting because we're criticizing things that we invented as a species, but then we cannot understand rationally. We're predisposed to believe that ideas that we can't understand rationally have to be wrong. Sometimes that's true, but sometimes we're just not smart enough to understand that. So, what can you do to improve yourself? The first question is, why should you even bother?
There you go. About 150.
So you don't suffer any more stupidly than you have.
All right. So, let's see here. I got like no room here. Oh, why didn't I clean up?
So you do care about it, even if it's just that negative way, you know. It's very rare that you can find someone who's in excruciating pain would ever say, well, it would be no better if I was out. Pain is one of those things that brings the idea that it would be better if it didn't exist along with it. It's a big part of get your act together so that there isn't any more stupid pain around you than necessary. Well, how would you go about getting your act together? The answer to that is something like look around for something that bothers you and see if you can fix it. Fix it. Fix it. And see if you can fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. And see if you can fix it. So now you think, well, you can do this in a room, it's quite fun. Maybe in your bedroom, you can sit there and just sort of meditate on it. If I wanted to spend 10 minutes making this room better, what would I have to do? But you have to ask yourself that, right? It's not a command, it's like a genuine question. and things will pop out in the room. There's a stack of papers over there that's kind of bugging you, and things will pop out in the room. You know, that maybe a little order there would be a good thing. And things will pop out in the room. There's some rubbish behind your computer monitor, and things will pop out in the room. The room would be slightly better and a little less dusty, and the cables weren't all tangled up the same way. If you allow yourself to just consider the expanse in which you exist at that moment, there'll be all sorts of things that will pop out in it that you can just fix. And, you know, I might say, well, if you were coming to see me for psychotherapy, the easiest thing for us to do first would just be maybe organize your room. You think, well, is that psychotherapy? And the answer is, well, it depends on how you perceive the limits of your being. And I would say, start where you can start. You know, if something announces itself to you, which is a strange way of thinking about it, as in need of repair, then you could repair, then hey, fix it. You fix 100 things like that, your life will be a lot different. Fix it. You know, I often tell people too, fix the things you repeat every day. Fix it. Because people tend to think of those as trivial. Fix it. Those probably constitute 50% of your life. And people think, well, they're mundane, I don't need to pay attention to them. It's like, no, that's exactly wrong. The things you do every day, those are the most important things you do. Hands down. So, 100 adjustments to your broader domain of being, and there's a lot less rubbish around and a lot fewer traps for you to step into. Traps for you to step into. Traps for you to step into. Once you've got your mind and your emotions together, and once you're acting that out, then you can extend what you're willing to consider yourself and start fixing up the things that are a part of your broader extent. Now, just because things announce themselves as in need of repair doesn't mean that it's you right then and there that should repair them. You have to have some humility. You don't walk up to a helicopter that isn't working and just start tinkering away with it. You have to stay within your domain of competence. I like the idea of the room, because you can do that at the drop of a hat. Go back to where you live and sit down and think, okay, I'm going to make this place better for half an hour. What should I do? You have to ask, and things will just pop up like mad. And it's partly because your mind is a very strange thing. As soon as you give it a name, a genuine name, it will reconfigure the world in keeping with that name. Be careful what you aim at. What you aim at determines the way the world manifests itself to you. And so if the world is manifesting itself in a very negative way, one thing to ask is, are you aiming at the right thing? You know, I'm not trying to reduce everybody's problems to an improper aim. People get cut off at the knees for all sorts of reasons. There's a random element to being, that's for sure. Things do happen to people, but it's still a great thing to ask. Be careful what you aim at. 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 When I started working on this problem, or I guess when it started working on me, it was probably in the mid-80s. I found myself suffering from two things. One was a very lengthy sequence of nightmares about destruction. Very empathic dreams. And associated with that was a sense of amazement that a dream that was that awful could reflect a reality that could be that awful. And additional amazement at the fact that despite the production of tens of thousands of weapons of unimaginable destruction, that people could go about their day-to-day lives without acting as if anything fundamental whatsoever had changed. Now, I've never really been able to figure out why that disturbed me so much when it seemed to not disturb most of the people I knew. It doesn't really matter. you do some thinking about what it is that you're talking about. And I don't think you can talk about it at all until you distinguish it from tragedy. The nature of the human being is such that it consists of a confrontation with the bounded, finite, with the unbounded, infinite. And those are the bare facts of the matter. The bounded, finite, with the unbounded, infinite. The world experience as it presents itself to us is literally and not metaphorically complex beyond our capacity to understand. And that means people deal in a real sense on an ongoing basis with the infinite. That fact is the reason why religious experience is essentially endemic to mankind. It's a human universal, and it's not because people believe. Human existence consists of a confrontation between the finite and the infinite, the finite and the infinite, the finite and the infinite. And religious systems merely take that into account. Now, our affinity in the face of the infinite has some inevitable consequences. Those consequences are essentially the existential conditions of life. The finite was always overwhelmed by the infinite. It has to be, it can't be absolute. And so what that means is that the suffering is central to the nature of human existence. Suffering exists as the consequences of our limitations.
Yeah. Let me see here. So, yeah, I am using OBS. What I have basically is a PC that I've mounted to the wall here. Yeah, so my PC's right there. It's totally like underpowered and is kind of a piece of garbage, but yeah, it's what I have, you know. I mean, I have like a good computer as well, like in my house, but I can't really justify throwing it out here in the hot garage. So yeah, I keep that in here. Basically, I just use it to play music, like when I'm out here, you know, doing whatever. I'm using it now. So I'm using it now, like to stream as well. And really, the only thing I stream is my beer stuff. So I'm streaming like twice a month, maybe. I mean, I did it like twice last month, and really the only reason I was able to do that was because I bought a couple pounds of hops and I bought a sack of grain. So, you know, I have the ingredients. I mean, I have the yeast because it's obviously I'm just like repitching from my last batch. So I have everything I need to make beer. So I'm like, well, I may as well. Like I'm at home and I have the ability to. So trying to figure out how this works here. So yeah, that's beer. Sorry, it's been a long day. So yeah, that's my beer stuff. I do it when I can, you know. So yeah, just as far as streaming, I mean, I have this this crappy computer, and it's got like 4 gigs of RAM, but it's like the processor on it is just garbage. And so it's really, really underpowered. Like when I can, I like to grab my my laptop actually, because it's perfectly fine for streaming. But you know, I just don't have it right now, so I'm stuck with this, what I got here, and what I use camera-wise is I have two cameras. The one I have up here is it's just an HP webcam, so it's like nothing special. It's just like 720 resolution, 720. And then the one that I have over here is actually it's like a generic GoPro. The brand name is Elephone, and it will record in 4K at like 23 frames a second or something like that. I mean, I never use 4K because I think it's, you know, not really necessary. As long as you're 1080, I mean, it looks fine. But what I'm doing is I have both these cameras hooked up to that computer, and I think that's what it is. If I had one camera, it'd probably be fine. But with both cameras, I mean, OBS says right now I'm at like 75% CPU load, so that's pretty high. I'm also 25 frames a second, so I'm not even like 30 frames a second. But I've also got like the kilobit per second is real low. I'm in like the 600-700 range, which, I mean, I don't know if you have an idea of what that is, but I don't really get it. But my computer will let me do that, so that's what I'm doing it at. I was streaming, like I said, I'm on my good computer in the house. I was streaming, and that, well, I mean, that'll stream basically whatever. But I don't really understand like the difference between. I mean, I would think that it would be lower quality for the end user, but then when I go and I check it, it looks like, I don't know, fine. I mean, not great, but fine. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, do you do streaming? Are you scoping out what everyone's doing here? Or are you interested in beer? Or both? Why can't it be both, you know? And, yeah, it looks fine. Both. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm interested in streaming. I've been homebrewing for like 10 years. I'd be interested to know what you stream, if you're like gaming and stuff. But yeah, no, I've been brewing for like 10 years. But, I mean, I figure streaming, like, you know, why not just put it on and kind of give me something to do while I'm like waiting. But, speaking of which, I'm gonna actually go grab a beer. Which, I don't know, you could probably see my system. So, I'm not even talking to this one. Microphones. No, actually, I do have a microphone. So my handle is Jaysbeerreviews. I have a YouTube that I started, like, I don't know, I think it was about like a year ago. And what I was doing was I was just trying to review beer, you know? I worked at like a good beer store, and whenever I had something interesting or new come in, I would try and, you know, record it and edit it down and just talk about style and whatnot. That's like super one-sided because people don't really leave comments on YouTube, and I mean, beer is interesting, but like there's not that many people, you know, talking about beer on YouTube. Or I mean, I guess there's probably more people reviewing beer on YouTube, but it's like, so to speak, a watered-down audience, you know? So I did, like I said, I got, it's like a knockoff GoPro. It's an Elephone, which is like a Chinese company. So the camera I think it looks good. It sounds terrible when you use it. Like, the audio on it is just god-awful. But I was able to, you know, I just threw down on, like, an Amazon microphone. I got the mic with, like, the boom stand, and then I got the little, like, little power box with it, too. And that was, like, I don't know, I think altogether that was, like, 20, 30 bucks. And the camera was, I think, like, 40. So, and I mean, yeah, I like technology stuff. Like I said, like, this computer I have is just like a knock-around computer. So it's like stuff I just have around. But I'm gonna top off my beer real quick. So, yeah, that's what I have. If I can show my beer here. There you go. So here I go. This is a ale that I made. Like, I think it'd be 2 weeks old tomorrow. So it's still kind of young, but basically just Pilsner malt with a little bit of Cara Munich 3, something like that. And I used Belgian yeast. It's Mangrove Jack, like M31 or something, whatever their number system is. It's good. So what are you doing at work? What's your job? Because I don't know about you, man, but it's a little bit late over here.
I'm small, you know, things are dangerous, I don't want to fight. You give somebody an antidepressant, they stretch, and then they're ready to, like, take on war again. Or if you get lobsters who just got defeated in a fight, serotonin, then they stretch out and they'll fight again. And that's, like, we separate from those lobsters.
That sucks. 12-hour shifts?
And the damn neurochemistry is the same. And so that's
that sounds bad. I'm sorry. I mean, I imagine you're busy, but like 6 to 6 kind of thing sounds like you might not be super busy. Yeah, weekends. Well, I will say I appreciate you chilling with me. These streams get pretty boring, honestly. Like I said, I was doing the beer reviews on YouTube, and while I like talking about beer, it's like, again, it's very one-sided. It's like I talk about beer basically just like talking into the ether, and nobody responds or anything. So I don't get that many views or anything. But even with the streams, like, I did a stream with a friend of mine. He also streams, but we kind of combined and did we made some beer, and then we also made some barbecue. And that was a pretty good stream. I had a lot of people talking about it, and it's good because you can get the beer people, and you can get the food people as well. They were interested, so. Oh, yeah, that's pretty nice. Hey man, 3 weekends always nice. I actually do not work. Oh, you saw my barbecue one. Very cool. Yeah, I am not working now. By choice. I'm staying home with my kids. But I used to teach. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I was on Reddit. Yeah, thank you for that. Reddit's pretty positive, you know? I mean, there's a lot of, like, terrible things that people say on Reddit, but at least in the beer community, it's been real good. But, yeah. So yeah. Yeah, Reddit's got a lot of, like, beer porn, you know? A lot of guys are on that beer porn subreddit. And that's always fun, but it's like, it's usually stuff that, like, I've never seen or I cannot get. So for someone to, like, put up a picture of some random beer, like, it doesn't mean a whole lot to me, you know? I do like, you know, if I can see stuff that, like, I can get, you know? You know, things like, I saw, like, the Founders, you know, they had, like, the new, like, barrel runner, mosaic, rum barrel aged. I mean, that stuff sounds good, you know? I'm like, in the Chicago area. I'm in, one of the suburbs. So, I mean, you know, yeah. You know, so like I said, I've been making beer for like 10 years. And I've also worked at like a kind of high-end liquor store here, where they sell, you know, beer, wine, spirits, all that stuff. So I've kind of seen like trends of like what, you know, what comes and goes. And I've also seen, I mean, I wouldn't say like, not that I've seen craft beer grow like from childhood, so to speak. I would say that probably took place more like in the 70s with like Sierra Nevada, you know. But just in the last 10 years, there's been like a huge boom of craft beer. And there's just so many like beer snobs out there that it's crazy. It's crazy that people are like, you know, standing in line to get some weird New England IPA, you know, juicy, gummy, something. Like, you know, that's not who I am anymore. I actually, so this beer is, like 5%. The one I'm brewing right here is going to be like 3.5 or something. I mean, I'm kind of like stepping down from the beer craziness. Because I'm just like, you know, I'm not feeling it. Like, I want to, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love IPA. That's my favorite style is IPA, but like I'm kind of trying to get my feel for brewing more like malty styles, like more things that I can have at home and just like drink a couple and like it's very quenching and like not get super loaded, you know. So that's what I'm going for right now. Instructor for the Navy. Hey man, thank you for your service. That's awesome. It's funny. So I was a teacher. Before I started staying home with my kids, I was teaching, and even so, like one of the things I regret not doing is like entering into the armed forces. You know. I worked with the guy at my last school. The technology guy was he was still in the Naval Reserves. So every 3 weeks he'd be like, oh, you know, I'm driving to, I don't know, wherever, it was like Wisconsin or something like that, I think. But yeah, it's, you know, it's very cool. My cousin as well was in the Marines, and he's probably the most put together of my whole family. I'd say I'm relatively put together, you know, like I said, I'm just going through college. But yeah, it's a very good thing to serve. And being a teacher, I would tell a lot of my students that the armed forces is a great option. Especially because the last school I worked at was an alternative education school, so it was like more I don't know, let's call it like troubled students. Students where it's like, hey man, you know, college really isn't, not that it's out of the question, but it's like it's not really your path. But damn, you gotta think of something, you know.
Meaningful life, everything you do matters. That's the definition. But everything you do matters. You have to carry that with you. Or if you want to just forget about the whole meaning of it, then you don't have any responsibility because who the hell cares? You can wander through life doing whatever you want, gratifying your desires, or how useful that's going to be. And you're stuck in meaninglessness, but you don't have any responsibility. Which one do you want? Which one are you pursuing? And you'll find very rapidly it isn't the majority of your soul that's pursuing the whole meaning thing, because well, look what you have to do that.
Alright. Yeah, mesh is sitting perfect at 150, so I'm doing good here.
I'm stunned every day when I go outside, and it isn't a riot with everything burning.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's you're exactly right, man. And I'm sure you've lived it. But yeah, and again, I mean, I taught kids who were like at risk, you know, they're like tier 3 kids is what you call them, and they're like, you know, rough. And you know, they can barely make it through high school. Like, they are not going to make it through college for the most part. Some of them were, you know, some of them were bright kids who, like, you know, messed up or something. But, man, you're right. Like, college is a really expensive bill to figure out something you might not like. So, yeah, it's funny, actually, at that alternative school, I worked with a guy, he was like what do you call it, like a building engineer. He, like, kept the place clean, you know? He was an older guy, he was like 80. But he said he was in the military and he had never used his GI Bill, and he was considering buying a new house, even though he's had his house for like, you know, decades or something. I mean, he's not moving anywhere, but he's like, oh, if I can buy a house and rent it and, you know, make more money or something. But he was an interesting cat. He was a really cool guy. But yeah, it's interesting to see what kids are going to do. Because, like, really, I mean, even like the principal at my school pushed college on these kids so strongly, and it's like, dude, it's not gonna work. You know, I mean, give them reasonable skills. You know, I mean, I don't know, it's automotive school, whatever. Actually, my cousin who was a Marine, when he got out of the Marines, he was a diesel mechanic in the Marines. They put him in diesel school. in the end, he didn't complete that, but now he does like HVAC and pipe fitting and stuff. So it's like he's still, you know, he still has like a reasonable trade. So tech school, yeah, dude. That, I mean, that's the thing, is a lot of the kids I taught, like, I mean, they'd be fine like working on cars and stuff, but I mean, a lot of them didn't want to put the effort into learning the trade, you know. But I don't know. And, you know, if you hear all this noise, that's actually my my quail that I have. They're pretty loud. So so what? So you've said you've brewed. So I assume you're versed in beer. What beer do you like? You know, what's some of your favorites? Like I said, I mean, I really like IPA. So I actually, like, one of my favorite beers is Avery's Maharaja, which is a double IPA. That beer's just phenomenal. But I mean, like I said, I'm in the Chicago area. You know, we have a local guy here is Penrose. They make a really good IPA. It's like an all Chinook hopped IPA. And then in Bourbonnais, if you're like a football fan, you know, where the Bears do their like spring camp or whatever, there's another brewery there, and they make an awesome IPA, like a mosaic hopped, single hopped mosaic IPA. Awesome beer. It's actually it's one of the IPAs that I brewed, or not brewed. One of the IPAs I reviewed on my YouTube channel. Because it's so phenomenal. It's so good. I'm gonna go check on my wife real quick. I'll be right back. So you're just in Wisconsin. Bull Falls. That's cool. The like you're saying, Bull Falls with the Oktoberfest. That's cool, man. I over in it's Rosemont by us, which is like, I don't know. It's like not even a town really. It's like just shopping and stuff. But they have a what the hell is it? One of the big guys, one of the big German guys. Hofbrau. They have a Hofbrau house. And so Hofbrau has a German, Oktoberfest. But obviously, like, they're already a German beer brewery. So they have, like, every night, they have a band. And, like, they go around with, like, the big, like, horn. Like, Ricola. They go around with, like, that kind of thing. Like, playing on tables and people stuff, like, dollars into it and stuff. It's cool. It's really good for when you have kids, because it's, like, a beer hall. So you can go and eat some food. And the kids, like, cry and scream and stuff. Like, no one's gonna hear that, But no, I know Central Waters, we get that down here. Only had a couple of their beers, but they're like highly regarded. Also, we also get kind of sorta. We have sour beers. That's sour beers I do like, but I haven't had any of their sour beers. And then New Glarus. New Glarus is, I don't know, man. I mean, I know people like rant and rave about them, like whatever, like Spotted Cow. Okay, whatever. It's fine. It's not great, but actually, the first time I bought Spotted Cow, I was in Milwaukee. I went to a gas station, and there was like some toothless meth head, like, oh man, this beer's the best. It gets you so drunk. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Something to get me drunk. No, man, I wanted to get beer that's good, and I'd never had it before. Yeah, no, that I've heard New Glarus, like when you go there, it's like an awesome experience, and like their like landscaping is awesome, the brewery is awesome, the people are awesome. I'm just like the beers I've had from them are like, I mean they're good, but I feel like people maybe like hype it up a little bit. But I mean their beers are solid though. Like I said, I mean Spotted Cow was like, oh, okay, whatever. But what is it? Their No Coast Pale Ale is really good. I don't know if you call it like a hoppy pale or an IPA or something. Yeah, Moon Man is another one I've had that's really good. What's the other, like Twin Sisters, I think, is one of their lagers. It's like two sisters or two women or something. That's another lager they do that I think is really good. And then it was like actually like their 4-pack series, like whatever I've had from them that comes in like the 4-pack with like the red foil top. I've had a couple of those. Like they're all actually really good. Oh, Moon Man is the No Coast. Oh, okay, yeah. And two women, yes. But yeah, those red topped ones are really good. And I've had like an Ode Brune, like a sour brown ale. Like that was awesome. And then I've had a couple like Belgians from them and stuff too. It's good. It's good. Tart cherry. Yeah, I really can't talk bad about that. It is a really solid beer. I've also had their I was looking for I think either the cherry or like something else. But I think it was actually the first time they brewed Serendipity, which was like something happened with like the cherry harvest, I think, and then they ended up using like whatever, like blueberries and raspberries and stuff instead. And that one was good. It wasn't as good as I wanted from the tart cherry because that was really good. But yeah. Actually, I'm gonna go back. The let's just say Ranger, right? Is that what you're talking? Yeah. like Ranger IPA, which is like that's Fat Tire, I think, right? Um, I really liked the original Ranger, and then they redid it as like Voodoo Ranger, and it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's a good beer. But the original Ranger was like a really good Simcoe bomb, which I love Simcoe, and it was nice and dry, you know. I think they did like the Voodoo Ranger, and it's like edging closer to like New England IPA, where it's like, you know, a little bit more chewy and like more tropical. I really like the original Ranger, like you said. It's like dank and citrusy and pine needly, and it's just like a delicious dry IPA you can drink a lot of. So yeah, I'm upset that they changed that recipe. Yeah, I mean I hope they bring the regular one back. Um, what was the other one? Accumulation. Accumulation is their like winter seasonal, I think. It's like maybe winter to spring seasonal. And that one is awesome too. It's like again like kind of dry, um, but like nice like bright hoppy character without being like crazy, you know. That's a really tasty one. I'm gonna sneak out real quick, grab some water. Hush. Welcome back. So I got I'm getting this ready because I'll be signing off in a little bit because I'm doing this mash and I'm gonna sour it. So the idea, like I said, is that I got the you know, the little cups of just grain, just regular grain. But you know, grain's covered in like lactobacillus bacteria. So the idea is I'm gonna cool this down with a pitcher of water, cool it down to like 100, 110, pitch in my grain full of lactobacillus, let it sour up my mash, and that'll be it for today. But I still got a little bit of time. I got like 15 minutes or so on my mash. Well, I had a cup, I taste it. I'm gonna have a clean cup. I could possibly pour it in here, but I have bourbon in this cup instead, so. It's good. It's good. Oh man.
dragon sat down on him. This sort of thing was not usually permitted. There wasn't much Billy's mother could do about it. She'd already said she was going to be a dragon. Mother made some pancakes for Bill. Dragon ate them. Mother made some more. Dragon ate those too. Mother can't make any pancakes until she ran out of the bag. One time, an acquaintance of ours brought in some of her babysat at our house. Snack was just in the car, so he was being shuffled from house to house. He had never had any recognition. He came over her house with his mother in the morning. She dropped him off. She said, "Well, you probably don't know what you're about to do." That's not how we run it. It is about what they run it. So they can pick up. Maybe there's some sort of dragon society in this town. And he was standing. The other kids were playing in the living room. And he was standing in the porch, sort of in the porch.
Howdy, we got anyone on here? Well, I mean, PJ, I know you're there. Should have one more. Even though he was still moving his head back and forth, it took about 10 minutes or so. She had said it was a chicken stew. She showed him and said, "Look, you know, I love the mask that he was wearing. Just fell off and had this great smile. Made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. As you can see, that was the first damn thing I want to try it.
to succeed. For the rest of the day, I followed my wife around like a puppy. Like he was one step behind her when we went downstairs to the basement. We watched TV. And then his mother came home. She came downstairs and she took one look at the skin, wrapped it around my wife, and she said, "Oh, super mom." One day, yeah, he'd fix him up. There was one positive experience.
So I'm gonna take a, well, I mean, I'll take a sip. I'm gonna try the wort real quick. But all I have is a metal cup. So, safety towel. There you go. Sweet. Good. All right. So, yeah, so I do have a about a gallon of water. I don't know how much I'm gonna need, but I gotta start putting water. Gotta start putting water into the mash, cool it down, so that I can pitch my grain, aka Lactobacillus culture. So that hopefully, like tomorrow, I can come in and make some beer, or I mean, you know, boil and get it fermenting. I also brought out wet, just straight up saran wrap, because my understanding is that you have to use the saran wrap to cover the grain, because otherwise, like, you want it's anaerobic. You want the lactobacillus to be working without oxygen, I think. So that's what I'll be doing there. Yeah, talking to myself. Well, cheers to me. Let's try this. So, no, PJ, I don't mean to offend. My thing said that I had 0 viewers, so I thought you signed off. I'm gonna let that sit for a sec. I gotta take the temperature. See where I'm at. So like I said, I'm gonna throw some grain in here. I had heard you guys should use yogurt, because obviously yogurt's got like the same, you know, cultures that you would want. I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of gross to me. I don't know. I also do not have any yogurt that I would want to throw in here, because the yogurt I do have is like artificially sweetened, and I don't want that in my beer. Like, that's not, no, I don't want that. So, so like 130. yeah, man. Trust me, like I don't blame you at all, especially if you're at work, dude. So like I said, I was teaching. I would occasionally I would find like some, you know, somebody on Reddit would be like, "Oh, I'm making some beer," and they'd be streaming. I'd put it on in the background, you know. I mean, kids don't know what I'm doing. Pretty good. Yeah, probiotics. So, I asked somebody on Reddit, because like, there's a recent thread in I think one of the homebrewing subreddits, or it could have just been beer, but they were talking about using like Good Belly, which I guess is a probiotic I don't know, product. But I asked somebody, I was like, well, couldn't you just use like kombucha or something? Because I have also made kombucha on my own. I mean, from like a, you know, I got a bottle and like grew up like the little thing, whatever it is, the SCOBY or whatever. I'm like, couldn't you use that? Because I imagine it's the same thing, you know? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, you know, I don't know, I'll see. This is like kind of an experiment. I don't exactly trust that it's going to work out right, but I'm willing to try. Truth is, like, I don't really lose that much. Orange Activa. Wait, isn't Activa that yogurt that, like, what's her name advertises? Oh, God, what's her name? She goes topless in Trading Places. She strips in True Lies. How's her name? Jamie Lee Curtis. That's it. Oh, yeah, I beat you. Yes, that's her name. But no, is that like Orange Activa? Is that the same thing? Like her yogurt product that she advertises? Is that the same thing? Yes, dude. Okay. True Lies. Okay, so let me tell you. When I was younger, I would watch it with my dad, which of course is awkward to begin with. But he had it on Laserdisc, bro. Laserdisc. So it was already 2 discs, and then you played both sides of it. And it was awesome movie. I loved it. I thought it was a great film when I was young. And so I watched it with my wife like a few months ago, and we got like halfway through. I'm like, oh, you can turn it off if you want. It's fine. Good probiotic. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try doing the grain thing, just to see how it turns out, I guess. Because I mean, I don't have like a probiotic, and I don't know if you caught it, but like I said, I don't have yogurt that I trust. Dude, that is one of Tom Arnold's best roles. True Lies, like it's good. I like it because it's like over the top and ridiculous. My wife didn't care for it so much. Alright, I'm at 1:30. I'm gonna go get a little bit more water. I'll be right back.
You can focus on eating better and works and feels. And you think about it, listen, how's that all become wrong? People are starving for the antidote. The antidote is strength and responsibility. That's the secret to meaningful life. And when it comes to meaningful life, then all you have is suffering and nihilism and despair and self-contempt. That's not good. It's necessary for you to stand up and take responsibility. They all know that. Starving for that message of war. That's actually a good thing to stand up and take responsibility because you're cursed so much now and when you're young with this notion that your active behavior with the world is part of what is destroying and undermining the planet and adding to the tyranny of the social system. It's like, how about what's not to happen? It's two-fold evidence. Everything you look to the problem. My sense is still is that if you're able to reveal the best of yourself to the world, you can overwhelming force for good. One of the oldest dramatic records in the world. Dragon lives in the ground, chased there by a hero in the previous generation. Now and then it emerges. Kills him. Threatens the integrity of the community.
All right, here we go. Oh, no, man. So, Binging with Bobbish, I have not seen him do a rum ham. Because Binging with Bobbish is a YouTube guy. And I was not aware that he made a rum ham. But that sounds amazing. Now, I'm going to have to look it up. Like, the science of a rum ham intrigues me. Because obviously I've heard of, like, pouring vodka into a watermelon or something. I mean, that just makes sense, you know? That's just good science. But, yeah, I probably was the person who posted about streaming. I mean, I can't say yes, but, like, I guess there's not a lot of people streaming beer, so probably it was me. I have been on the homebrewing Reddit, subreddit, like, maybe like 3 or 4 times, posting different streams. The first one that I, like, I don't know, I guess I'd say advertised was it was like a barbecue and homebrew thing, because I had a guy come in, one of my friends, I used to work with him, he is like a Kansas City barbecue certified judge, so he was practicing for competition, and I'm like, dude, come on, we'll make some beer, and you'll make some barbecue, and we'll stream both, and I had my laptop, and so, like, I was, like, walking around with the camera on a stick, you know, watching him make barbecue and stuff. It was cool. But, yeah, normally I hit up Reddit just to announce that I'm doing it. This one I didn't, because I'm, like, I don't know, I'm doing, like, a sour mash, so I'm not really, like, brewing. I don't know, I'm mashing, you know? So, I don't know, I'm not really finishing it. But I will most likely finish it tomorrow, if not Tuesday, or, you know, the next day, Tuesday. Today's Sunday, right? I guess it's gonna depend on how sour my mash gets. I'm gonna, like, come out in the morning, and I'll probably come out in the evening and, like, taste it, see how it is. And then, yeah, like worst case scenarios, I'll do it probably Tuesday morning at the latest is when I will be like boiling this and then getting it into a fermenter. Let me see where I'm at here. So, I need to remember that I'm adding water to this. Because I have, you can see on my screen, I have like a brew sheet that I use to keep track of everything. And I think I cut it off, but I do have a mash section for how much water I use. And like, I just added 2 gallons of water to my thing. Like, if I don't remember that, it's not going to work out right. I guess like on the good side is I could put my heat stick in for like a good mash out tomorrow. I guess we'll see. I just want to scorch anything. Yeah, you know, so the whole like streaming through a phone thing, so I got into streaming because my guy, the Kansas City barbecue guy, he lives on Lakeshore Drive in Chicago, so he's like, you know, not the heart of the city, but he's, you know, very urban. And what he tried doing was streaming his bike ride in the morning when he went to work. And he did it once, and it it worked well up until he actually got to buildings. Because, like, obviously he's on Lakeshore, so he's going down, like, a bike path that's, like, you know, the lake on one side, and then the city is, like, on the other side, right? So he's riding, and it was, like, you know, 15 minutes of him, like, riding on a bike path. And then when he turns to go into, like, the loop, as soon as they hit buildings, the video, like crashed and got all, like, you know, like, drop frames and stuff like that. And so, that didn't work for me. He's got a Pixel, so it's, like, a good camera and all that stuff, you know? I mean, for how good phones get, you know? Oh, this is one of my beer pots. Oh, this is the Jamil Show. Brewing. If you guys, you know, are interested in brewing, it's a great podcast, a great resource for when I was learning. But yeah, so he was streaming through his Pixel, and it crashed. There were drop frames when he got in the city, obviously, because, you know, he got in the buildings and couldn't get a connection or whatever. Then he was at home on his Wi-Fi, and he said the same thing. Like, his phone, like, basically overheated and crashed. And I was watching him do it, and, like, talking to him and stuff, you know, as, like, I was commenting in the chat as he was doing it. And it was just, like, it was, like, garbage. Like, it was unwatchable. And again, he was at home on his Wi-Fi using his phone. So, I don't know, I mean, I have the Twitch app. I assume you can stream through it. Otherwise, like, I think OBS has an app as well. But, yeah, but I don't know. So, I'm sorry, getting off of that, how did the Russian Imperial Stout turn out? Regardless of your stream. Because, yeah, Russian Imperial, man, I made a surprisingly good Russian Imperial, although it was a little light in body, but I used some oak cubes that I soaked in bourbon, and it turned out really good. Except that it was a 10-gallon batch. I kegged half and I bottled the other half, and the bottles never carbonated, so it was terrible. And we ended up using the bottles. I mean, this was like years ago. We ended up using it for basically for food, cooking. You know, my father-in-law was making like jerky. You know, he's drying his own jerky in a dehumidifier. He would like soak the jerky in the Russian Imperial. It was a really good flavor. I'll go on gravity. I was aiming for 82. Had 75. I mean, that's not too bad. That's the thing is, like, I'm still, I've been making beer for 10 years, and with the same cooler, with the same kettle, and the only thing that's different is the place I do it. And I can no longer get as good efficiency as I used to, which is, I'm like, now, like, I think it says on my sheets. Yeah, now I just account for 60% efficiency because I'm like, I'd rather have a higher gravity than a lower gravity, you know? But honestly, 60 or 65 is what I'm getting now, which I'm irritated by because I used to get like 75, like, all the time. And I don't know why. I just don't know why. Because I'm using the same stuff. I'm just in a different place. I mean, you know, different water. Maybe the grain's different. I don't know. I don't know. But trying to figure it out. Trying. You know, I'm also trying to be less exacting on like the volumes. So what I ferment now in corny kegs. So obviously it's a 5-gallon keg. Like I plan on only making 4.5 gallons of beer. Although I might have 5 or 5.5 gallons. So like that's something that could account for my efficiency. And as far as my false bottom, I have I soldered together some copper. So I have like copper pipes with holes drilled in it. Yeah, I mean, that's the Dead Space thing. Like I said, you know, I'm not as exacting on my volume, so to speak. So, again, I mean, this is only like maybe my 5th batch since I've moved into this house. And so, I'm still kind of tweaking everything and like, you know, getting everything together that I want. Because before, like, if I had like a 6.5 gallon, what's it called? Carboy. If I had a 6.5 gallon carboy, you know, if it was full to the brim, if I was a little low on gravity, I wouldn't care because I'm like, oh, I have 6.5 gallons now. Like, that's more than I planned of beer that's probably about as good. But now that I'm like purposefully trying to hit like 4.5 gallons, I'm playing with it. I'm trying to figure it out. But I think you're right about like the kind of dead space that I have. You know, the mash tun isn't as bad as actually my kettle. So I use a keg, you know, a keggle. And I've been wanting to put like a tube that will get to the bottom of the keggle so that I can get like all the way to the very bottom. But then again, you run into issues of like, you know, you're getting like, you know, cold break and, you know, hop gunk and all that garbage, you know? So, I don't know. I'm still playing with it. Again, it's more, it's for fun, of course. Brewing's always supposed to be for fun. Yeah, no, exactly, you're right. Like, I mean, it's good that it's domed. It sits perfectly on my, it's not a turkey fryer, but it is like a fryer thing, you know? But it's like, it sits perfectly on it. I mean, it has like just a little bit of wobble to it, but it's the skirt fits perfect. And honestly, I think like the years of using it, you know, under heat has like kind of formed the perfect shape. But yeah, it's that weird dome like dead space that like when I pour it out, I do actually kind of pop it up and put it at an angle because for that reason, you know, I want to get everything out of it that I can. This thing keeps dripping on me. I wouldn't be upset about this dripping, except that it's sugar water, so it's now my feet are all sticky. At least I guess it's a good thing that it's sticky, because now I know that it's converted. Oh, jeez. I'm still only at 130. I'm gonna go get some more water. Yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry, I gotta go with that. Give me some ice. Alright, so let's see here. I actually got ice. See how that does. Got thermometer was in there. Dude, so I never finished my thoughts about rum ham. Because I'm like, yeah, watermelon makes sense. You know, you throw rum or vodka or whatever in a watermelon, like, it just works, dude. But, like, rum ham? Like, how do you infuse a ham with rum? I wonder. It's got pineapple on it, like, you could soak the pineapple. I mean, you know, what else? Like a sangria. How do you... rum ham, dude? Christmas thing, but aren't they in New Jersey eating the rum ham, dude?
Saying drinks and dishes dreamt up by its citizens, and maybe the most legendary of which is rum ham. I don't want to waste this whole ham, so I'm just going to take a large slab of it, you might call it a steak, put it in a bowl with a whole lot of rum, soak it overnight, just as Frank describes. While that's soaking, we're going to make a delicious dark sugar glazed ham with pineapple rum sauce. We'll start by scoring the like so. Depending on what you think, either try this and pepper disease and see it not really itself. Now we're going to make brown sugar rub.
Oh, there you go, dude. Perfect.
And that can have fire crispy eyebrows. Make sure all the alcohol is burned off, so it's easy. Let's get our hand out of the oven. It's already beautiful. I've got a couple slices and pull it up with that beautiful pineapple sauce. You can see that I've got some riot juice added ready. We'll touch on that later.
Fucking riot juice.
We need our glistening rum-soaked slab of ham, and we're going to take a bite of it immediately spit out because it's really, really disgusting. This is one of the few times where it's acceptable to be shirtless in a public forum. So I'm blasting bare chest the whole time.
So yeah, I gotta learn about this riot juice.
I'm not gonna be cold at all. So I'm gonna be wasted on grain alcohol. Grain alcohol, baby. Whenever there's a potential riot, I'm getting blasted on grain alcohol. Riot juice. Put some of that on my bug bites. I'm not gonna be wasted on grain alcohol on your goddamn bug bites, idiots. Riot juice is a drink to be consumed in public during potentially violent sporting events. So let's get prepared to bring the ballpark. We'll start with grain alcohol and add what I can only imagine is blue Gatorade. That's blue flavored Gatorade. You can come up with the name for flavors, so you just call it blue orange. Effectively bring it back to the college shape. Let's see if we can make this actually palatable. Because the way it is rough. We'll start with the same kind of high proof bleach that we're going to add as well.
That's a lot of grain alcohol, though.
Which has shaker, and not only does this stuff look just like riot juice, it also tastes really, really good while getting you incredibly drunk. It's so good that I've actually made it for myself a few times since shooting this episode.
Fight milk. Alright, I'll cut out of the fight milk. Oh my god, you have milk steak too? Oh god, dude. Dude, milk steak with raw jelly beans? I don't know, man. It's great because Charlie's like, jelly beans? Raw? He eat it like he doesn't understand how to do it. How to order, you know? That's, yeah. Milk steak is one of the few jokes that I continually go back to. Alright, so. Beer. Yeah. So I have added now about 3 gallons of water. So I need to remember I can only mash out with like 2 gallons. So again, I added the 3 gallons to cool it down. I'm at about 110 right now. And I cooled it down to 110 so that I can throw in, I have, shut up, 2 cups of just Pilsner malts, just 2 cups of grain. And the idea behind this is that the grain is covered in lactobacillus bacteria. I will throw it into my mash, give it a stir. Then I'm gonna use some plastic wrap and just cover. I'm gonna put the plastic wrap literally on top of the water, or the wort or whatever you want to call it. And like check it tomorrow. Actually, I didn't. I did not use any acid malt. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. I'm slightly worried. Because I know you do need to have a lower pH. I don't know. I thought maybe I'd add like some like lime juice to it or something. I don't know. I'm slightly worried, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I will cover it, and I mean, yeah. Worst case scenario is that tomorrow I wake up and I'm like, oh man, this is like, I gotta get this going right now. So we'll see what happens. But here goes the grain. So there's that. It's my first time doing this. I've never done it. I mean, I've done a sour beer, but not like a mash sour or a kettle sour. Alright. Yeah, I will be up tomorrow. Well, I mean, yeah, so tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, whenever I start brewing this beer, I will be streaming it. So if it's tomorrow or if it's Tuesday or something, I will for sure stream that. It actually worked, dude. Go a little longer with this one. Dude. I'm, yeah. We'll see you later, Rumham. I'm very, like, a childlike sense of wonder here. It's like gelatin. Very funny. Alright. Here we go. I'm gonna close that. Done. So, yeah, Brumham, we'll see you. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Then PJ, I am gonna sign off, but I'm gonna leave this to do its thing, and then, like I said, you know, if it's tomorrow or if it's Tuesday or what have you, but when I'm boiling this wort, I will be streaming it. So hopefully I will see you back then. And then enjoy the rest of your shift. You got a long ways to go, man, but thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Kept me company. So I will see you soon, alright? Later, man.